There's a huge shift when we can truly get in touch with ourselves and discover and live our passionate purpose. This is where we can make an enormous impact in making this world a better place. You know, it's interesting, I tell your story a lot, and I'll never forget that first time we met. Do you remember what I asked you when we first met?
You said, Ken, let me learn a little bit about you. Tell me what you're passionate about.
And what was your response?
My response was crickets.
That's right.
So I had no idea. I mean, I really didn't have any idea what I was passionate about. I obviously love my family and all of that stuff, but I didn't really have anything that I could point to say, when I get up in the morning, what I really want to do is this.
Exactly. And it was interesting because I remember you coming through our graduate school at UCSD from a referral, and I go, how can I possibly help this guy? He's 2 master's degrees, including our graduate school and London School of Economics, built and sold multiple companies, and have this beautiful wife and a child and a home, and for there to be crickets, I was a little bit at a loss myself. And I remember the only thing that was really coming to me is I thought, this guy doesn't need to check off one more box. He actually just needs to learn to be. And I remember that being such a foreign concept to you when I said, Ken, how about if you just go to the playground and play with your son? You looked at me like I had 10 heads.
Yeah, I know. But it was a good idea. Thanks.
And it led you on this journey that's even better than you ever expected it would be. I mean, Can you even describe the feeling of when we first met to how you feel today, the difference between those two?
No, I mean, when we first met, I was lost, honestly. I mean, I didn't look lost, but I was lost, right? And and it's not like every day doesn't have challenges, or that life is life, and there are always barriers to everything you do. But that if you keep in mind that you don't have to, every day doesn't have to be perfect, and that the bigger picture is what you're focused on, then it gives you a sense of calm.
Right.
That you're headed in the right direction.
Somebody asked me to describe what I do, and I told them that I'm really a career and life weaver, because I think so many times people do see their career separate from their life. So I remember that in the first conversation we had, that's what I was trying to get from you too. Yeah. Like, what are all the pieces of your life? And from that very beginning, you were very clear that your wife and your son needed to be a really integral part of that equation that we would put together.
Yeah, no, for sure.
With the Mission Edge, tell us a little bit about that, because I think that what's so cool about this is you're making such a big impact in so many different areas now in San Diego.
I think what ended up happening for me is that I wanted to connect with the community, and I wanted to do good, and I realized that I had some skills that I built in the private sector that could be very useful in the nonprofit sector. So Mission Edge started with the idea that we could help nonprofits operationally be more effective, so we could provide accounting and HR and outsource sort of operational support, and take those things off their plate, because those are things that nonprofits tend to not want to do, because they do it because they have to. It's not part of their mission to serve the community. It becomes a hassle. Right. And then we take that off their plate, and they could focus on their mission. So we started that in 2012, and 4 years later, we've worked with more than 150 nonprofits.
Wow.
And I think done a lot of good service to the community, and I've been able to build a team here that's fantastic at what they do. And and it's funny, because my wife said to me, what you built at Mission Edge looks a lot like what you left before, and in some ways that's true, but the difference is that every day I know that the work we're doing is helping organizations that are serving veterans, that are helping kids, that are helping feed the hungry, and clothe those who don't have clothing. And there's a purpose to it that is the thing that really animates me.
That's fantastic, and that even the wider impact that's going to make on the community, and then bringing together these people that from their social enterprise are truly living their passion and purpose
Yeah.
and making a difference.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that a lot of these social enterprises are started by young people, millennials, and those who are kind of looking at the world a little bit differently than our parents did, where you sort of do your day job and then you write a check to charity, and charities get started on the basis of donations, and it's tax deductible, and that whole process has been kind of where we've been. But a lot of millennials and entrepreneurs are now looking at, how do I create a business that can solve some of these social problems and make money at the same time, so they're not in this place where they're worried about a grant not coming through, or worried about not getting a donation that they're depending on in order to keep the doors open.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great model.
Yeah, so we're super excited about being able to seed some of these things, because I think it's the future of social impact, and I think
agree.
it will be more and more of these for-profits that are doing social good, that are finding a way to sustain themselves through the work that they're doing, as opposed to applying for another grant. And grant funding is great, but it's very unpredictable. It's not steady, and it makes it very hard for a lot of these organizations to reach any kind of scale, because they simply don't have the infrastructure to do it.
Absolutely. Well, I know the formula of passion plus purpose equals world change, and you're living that, and now empowering other people to do that. So that makes me really happy to see that my work by helping you has been also exponential to helping other people do the same. So
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, thanks, Marcy.
Come join us on this journey to make a huge impact on this world.